Advantage Broadcasting. Move ahead.
East Coast Roofing and Siding, protecting what you love and own. East Coast Roofing and Siding, trust us with your family and home.
Hi, I'm Larry Styler, president and founder of East Coast Roofing and Siding and Windows since 1979. Today we're going to take a tour of the facility, so let's meet some of the great people working here. First friendly face you'll see is Dean, our senior office administrator. As we come through the office, our newest remodeled office, you have our GAF roofing supplies and samples, our Simonton window displays, and James Hardy vinyl siding and fiber cement displays. We walk back, have our many awards that we've accomplished over the last years, including our most coveted 2016 GAF Master Elite Excellence Training Award. And I'd like to come back and meet some of the people and our staff in the back. Let's visit our customer service center, where you'll have the pleasure of meeting one of our office assistants, Heather or Jen. Can answer any of your questions you have on your project. Let's go meet some of our other friendly staff. I'd like you to meet Jeff, our Director of Business Development. If you've ever considered a career here at East Coast, this is the man to see. Now let's go take a look at our production department and see what's happening there. Welcome to our production department. This is my son, Sean. He'll be helping you with your project from start to finish, along with Janine. And now we'll hear from Sean. He's going to tell us a little bit more about our products.
I think they did a very good job. Everything that I was told was going to happen, happened, and it happened in the process and in the way that I was told it was going to happen. So I couldn't have been happier with the way the whole job went. I would. That's one of the reasons I'm doing the video, is because I think your services were outstanding, and I think people need to know that there's a company like this out there. Besides hearing it on the radio, I think they need to hear that, you stand behind what you say on the radio.
Trust us with your family and home.
Sean, I think what Larry just got done showing us really gave the folks at home a real perspective of what really goes on here at East Coast Roofing and Siding. But there's a couple of other people I know we want to talk about that really, kind of make the whole process work.
Yeah, that's a good point. We have our project managers out in the field, like Kevin, who goes out there and looks at all of our projects and makes sure everything is going smoothly. We also have Dave, who goes out there and meets with homeowners and sits down, goes over their needs. And Robert, who's been with us a very long time, who also goes out there and, again, looks at these homes ahead of time to make sure that we're, meeting the right product with the right homeowner.
Well, I got to tell you, we've been coming here for, a couple of years now, and here at East Coast Roofing and Siding, just when you think you've learned everything that you do, you learn that there's more to it. So today I'm real excited to learn about another product that I know is kind of new to the family, and that is garage doors.
Yes. So we've been doing garage doors for several years now. Not really well known for it, but we do. It's in our wheelhouse, and we do them. We primarily use a garage door company called AMAR. AMAR has been around a very long time, and they have several different selections of garage doors depending on what the homeowner is looking for. So typically we push 3 of their main categories, and that's their Stratford series, which is a basic, simple series. It's got a couple different panel designs in it, things like that if you're looking for a more like the economy solution to your garage door. They also have an Oak Summit series. I just recently got Oak Summit doors in my home, and they're a bit more fancier garage doors. They have some hardware attached to it, things like that. And then you can go up to a carriage house selection as well, which has that kind of carriage house look to it, more Victorian style and things like that. So there are definitely a whole lot of options you can get within hardware, glasses, and things like that as well. Each of the garage door series in AMAR, there's 3 series. There's a 1000 series, which is just a steel garage door, a single layer of steel. There's a 2000 series, which is a single layer of steel with insulation behind it to insulate the garage. And the 3000 series, which is what I recommend to most homeowners that want to insulate their home, is a layer of steel a layer of insulation, and another layer of steel.
Wow.
This doesn't only insulate the home, but it makes the garage door a bit more impact resistant. Now, if you hit it with your car, you're going to need a new garage door. But if you have young children that ride their bicycles and hit the garage door, when you have that steel insulation steel, you're going to get more of an impact resistant there, so you're not going to dent the garage door as easily as you would if it was just a single layer of steel.
A couple of more questions that come to mind. One of the things is, for example, I have a existing, garage door. I know it's seen better days. I want to change it, but because I change it, now I need to have a new, remote and all that. You could take care of that whole process, the garage door openers, as well as the actual door, and changing all the stuff?
Oh, absolutely. Yes, we'll go in there. We'll change the weather strippings out in the garage door to make sure it's airtight and sealed. We'll replace the garage door. We put new tracks inside of it. We also have garage door openers, LiftMasters. They're absolutely amazing. I love my LiftMasters. I get home, I hit the button on the car, it opens up the garage door for me. You can set it so that after 5 minutes, if you forget to close your garage door, it automatically closes it for you.
Wow.
You can actually get an app in your phone now, so I can be here talking to you. My wife gets locked out of the house and she forgets her keypad. I can click a button in my smartphone, opens up my garage door at home.
Well,
That's
I got to tell you, there's, don't tell too many people this, but how many times I have to actually ride back past my house because did I close the garage door? What a great feature.
Absolutely, yeah. You can see right on your phone whether or not it's opened or closed.
Wow. One more thing. Obviously, I know we've talked about it with other manufacturers you deal with. Obviously, if East Coast Roofing and Siding is going to deal with a manufacturer, you're dealing with somebody that you guys have put through a series of tests to make sure that their product really cuts the mustard. Tell us about the type of quality that we're dealing here with this manufacturer. I know that's always big.
Yes, yeah, we care a lot about the quality in the doors, make sure we're putting in good doors. AMAR is definitely probably the top brand out there when it comes to garage doors with their quality. We've never had any installation or warranty callbacks and things like that with them, but we are very familiar with the manufacturer and things like that, so they definitely work with us, making sure that we're up to date on their knowledge of their product and make sure we express that to the homeowners and tell them what kind of quality that they're getting.
I know the name here is East Coast Roofing and Siding, and then of course if we talk a little bit more, it becomes East Coast Roofing, Siding, Windows, and
garage doors.
We're going to have to add garage doors to those.
Yeah, it wouldn't fit in the jingle.
and speaking of jingles, ladies and gentlemen, remember here at East Coast Roofing and Siding, what's the old motto here, Sean?
If you'll call, we'll show up.
Rob was terrific because he walked me through everything, showed me all the materials that were going to be used and how they were going to be used. He even covered, I had some leaks upstairs. He covered the fact that they might have to put some more plywood down. Fortunately, I didn't need to have that done. I think probably the thing I'm most impressed with Rob was that he wasn't anxious to get to the next job. He took as much time as he needed to talk to me. We had a nice conversation and he went on his way. It was very professional.
Trust us with your family and home.
All right, Sean, last time we were here, we spent a lot of time speaking about roofing. And as you can recall, we talked a lot about one of your favorite manufacturers,
GAF.
All right, now obviously, we spent a lot of time doing that last time, and I think without probably twisting your arm too much, we could have probably taken not just a portion of the show, but probably the whole show and spoke about roofing. Am I right? All
absolutely.
Right. Well, here's an important part about roofing we did not talk about before, and that is the flashings.
Yes.
The actual flashings that go on the roof. So explain to us, what we see here and why they're so important, and why that if you're going to change a roof, you better have a good quality, pipe flashing.
Absolutely. So we talked a lot about how GAF and these Timberline shingles behind us have lifetime warranties. Well, most of all our competition and a lot of roofers all install these standard traditional pipe flashing right here, which is an aluminum flashing with a neoprene rubber collar that holds tight to the pipe. And this is what's been around for a long time. This is what my father installed on roofs. This is what my grandfather installed on roofs. This is just what's been around for a very, very long time, and it's very traditional. However, as things improve, as lifetime warranties improve, pipe flashings improve as well. So we kind of been asking ourselves these questions. The number one failure in a roof, the cause of leaks, are pipe flashings. These rubber neoprene collars, they'll hold tight to the pipe, but depending on how much sun it gets and depending on how much salt air it gets, this rubber neoprene here will actually start to eat away and chip and peel. And once it does that, it loses its tightness, and it's going to allow water to come in through the roof. That's the number one leaks that we go out and we see are pipe flashings that fail. However, a couple years ago, probably about maybe 5 or 6, a guy named Tom Gitto had a roof installed. I think he's down in South Carolina, and it leaked after only a couple years. And then he hired a good roofer. He called that roofer up and he said, "Why is my roof leaking?" And they said, "The pipe flashings are failing." And he asked himself, he goes, "Well, why did I spend all this money on a lifetime roof? And why did I get such cheap pipe flashings?" And the contractor was explaining to him that this is all that's out there. This is what we have offered to us as roofers. This is the best that there is. And he just said that wasn't good enough. And he had an inventing background and whatnot. So he spent a couple years creating what's called the ultimate pipe flashing. And this is what we use on the majority of our roofs now. This ultimate pipe flashing has a 24 gauged metal flashing to it. It's got pre-drilled holes in it so that the nails don't penetrate through the flashing. And it's made of 100% pure ultramarine environment silicone.
Wow.
So what that does is that allows the pipe to mount onto the roof and has a really tight seal. Whereas the traditional flashing is made for 3 sizes of pipes. It's made for a 1-inch pipe, a 2-inch pipe, and a 3-inch pipe. And depending on the size of the pipe, what you would do is you would take a razor and you would actually cut these rings off to slide the pipe over that. So it's called a 3-in-1. One size fits 3 pipes. But on these ones here, we have to measure the pipe specifically to the exact size. And what they do is they make these pipe flashings to the exact size of the pipe. Now luckily, plumbers basically in this area just use 3 different size pipes. 1-inch, 2-inch, and 3-inch. Occasionally we see 4 inches, and that's available as well. So what we do is we actually order these pipe flashings to the exact size of the pipe that's on the roof of the home that we're working on. And what it does is it comes in this size, and it's a very, very tight seal. And every single pipe flashing comes with a little bit of lubricant, because what we have to do is we actually have to oil up the pipe because it's such a tight fit to make sure they don't leak in the future that it actually has to be oiled up so that the pipe flashing will fit over top of it.
Wow.
The other good thing about it is because it's ultra pure silicone, it's got this very flexible seal right here. So no matter the pitch of the roof, it's not going to stress the pipe flashing out. Where on these more traditional pipe flashings, they're good on low slope roofs, but as you get a steeper roof pitch, it's going to stretch this this neoprene flashing right here, and the more it stretches, the faster that pipe flashing is going to wear out in time. And this pipe flashings are actually called a lifetime ultimate pipe flashing. The reason being is that it actually has a lifetime warranty. We'll have a 50-year warranty on this pipe collar. So that's the biggest thing there. If you're going to put a lifetime Timberline roof on, why would you not want your flashings to match? Otherwise, you're going to have to remove shingles around your flashings, pull the flashings off, and that can be a very expensive roof repair, not only mentioning the drywall that's ruined and the sheetrock and repainting the ceilings and things like that if you do get a leak.
All right.
Another fun fact about these is that because it's made from pure ultra silicone, for some strange reason, I don't know if it was intended or not, but squirrels and other rodents do not like the taste of silicone. Where I've been up on roofs where I've seen like squirrels or chipmunks and raccoons chew right through the neoprene collars before, where these ones here, they will not chew through it. They just absolutely hate the taste of that silicone. So it deters them from ever trying to chew through the pipe and through the silicone flashings.
All right, so if I'm speaking to East Coast Roofing and Siding about a new roof, and we're discussing the shingle, are they going to ask a question about the type of flashing for my pipe, or is it going to be an automatic here?
It depends on the house, depends on the structure and what the homeowner is looking for. This is something that our exterior consultants pretty much recommend on every single job.
Great product, and I had no idea it was available.
Yep.
Now, one more question. Somebody has a roof on their home, and say the roof is, let's say 3, 4, 5 years old. At the time the roof was done, they had this. They didn't have this. Can they make a change and put this on the roof?
Absolutely they can.
Without changing the shingles?
Without changing the shingles directly around it. Yes, what we'd have to do is we'd have to remove the shingles around it that are on the roof now. We would then remove the old pipe flashing. We can slide the new pipe flashing on and take those same shingles and then put them back on, and making some adjustments to the cuts around the flashings.
Yeah, this is big. This is real big.
Yep.
Ladies and gentlemen, when it comes to pipe flashing, think of East Coast Roofing and Siding. And, the old story, when you give Sean and the folks a call, they have a little saying around here they love to remind you about.
If you'll call, we'll show up.
Yeah, I think so. I think we did, yeah.
Yeah.
They did a good job, and they took the time and did it good and professional, and looks good.
Absolutely, absolutely. When Sean was here to talk to us, he told us about different options that were available, such as the 50-year guarantee on the roof, which we jumped on. He was very careful to explain about the siding, about options for trim, so that when it was all done, it was just beyond our wildest dreams. We're just thrilled with it.
Trust us with your family and home.
So, Dad, I know a lot of the questions that I get, people want to know, is how did East Coast Roofing get started? And I was hoping that we could take this time to really, share with everybody kind of the story that you've always told me growing up, is what, I guess the vision that God put in you for this company and kind of how you started East Coast Roofing from its very beginnings.
It was very interesting. It was in 1975 when I started in this industry full time, and worked for my father, who was in business as a fairly small roofing company, 1 truck, 2 truck, and a crew roofing company back then. And I started with him full time in 75. It wasn't too long before I knew that this was a career I wanted to pursue. So I started the business in 1979, January 29th, 4:12 p.m. I punched in the clock at the local county fair and went from there. And I remember working for my dad the first full time and telling him that I wanted to start my own business. And the best way to do it was to work on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday at the time for my business, do paperwork on Sunday. But he would give me permission to take off on Friday, and I'd go knocking on doors. I borrowed the ugliest truck from him and the ladder. We used to have to park down the street because I was so embarrassed of my truck. I started out in Ocean City down around 34th Street, that community down there. And I would see a lot of the old shingles back then were not the seal tabs that we have today, that we don't have the problems with blow-offs. Back then there'd be many homes with the shingles that blew off, and I'd knock on a door and say, I'm Larry Styler, my father's been in business and I'd like to start my own company. And I'd say about 2 out of 3 would get a door shut on me, and about 1 out of 3 would say, sure, give me a price. And I remember my first day making $200, enough to cover the material that I had and the profit for the day. And that was the humble beginnings of East Coast. I started with a pocket full of change and a prayer. And my prayer was very important to me. Prayer was that we'd do more. As our core values here, our vision statement is to make a world difference. And that was what we started out right in the beginning, to make a world difference. That East Coast would not be just a roofing company or a siding company. It would have a purpose of making a difference in the world. And so we've been able, up to today, we sponsor our feeding center in Guatemala. Feeds about 75 children a day and is solely funded by East Coast Roofing and Siding. And we're excited to start a new project in Guatemala, again in San Lucas, starting a bakery. As the Lord has blessed us with business, we're going to take some of our investments that we've earned and invest in the Guatemala, where we can set up a bakery in San Lucas, get the single moms that are there and needing the work, be able to run the bakery, and the funds from the bakery that we hope to generate will go towards funding a halfway house for the children that age out of the orphanages. Huh. And so we're in the process of building the bakery now, getting all the equipment, teaching the skills, and that should be up and running within the year.
Awesome. So Grandpop was okay with you taking off on certain days to be his competition for other days?
As a matter of fact, he gave me my first deposit. He gave me, if I recall, it was $500. He gave me a gift to start out my own business. And that $500 got me the down payment on my first truck. He went with me, we got that first truck going, and would knock on the doors. I would take off Fridays and Saturdays, work with him 4 days a week, and it wasn't long before I was able to go to him again and say, Dad, success is coming my way. I'd like to go full time. And he gave me his blessing, and he passed that blessing on to me, and he taught me the value of hard work and honesty. That's the 2 things that he instilled in me is honesty and good old-fashioned hard work. He was a great worker. He's still with us today, and we just celebrated his 93rd birthday and my mom's 87th birthday. Better get that right. I hope they don't mind me giving away their age at this point, but that was good.
I think they still have channels 3, 6, and 9, so we're okay.
Yeah.
So where was our first office at?
First office started in Pleasantville, 802 North Main Street, and then moved to Mays Landing some 10 years later. Huh. And we've been in Mays Landing since.
Wow. And
we've seen our office grow from eventually starting out in our home to a single unit commercial building, 2nd unit, 3rd unit, now we're on our 4th unit in our present location. Yeah, we're constantly growing, but slow growth is the key to the game. Growing slow, making sure we're keeping the customer in mind at all times, customer's needs first, and being able to be sure that we don't grow so fast that we can't meet our customers' needs.
Yeah.
You know, one of the unusual things we do at East Coast here is when things get too busy, and our business is seasonal at times, and we can take on so much work. Now, if we were money conscious, only money conscious, we would keep taking those deposits, keep selling the jobs. But at East Coast here, we stop. And we put a message on our machine saying no more new customers at times when it gets so busy like that. Now, we continue to service all of our past customers, but slowing down that volume, that intake of work is so important to keep up the quality that our customers have come to expect from us. We want to continue that in the future, so slow growth is a pace of a growth and balance between the customer's needs and our wants.
Yeah, I know one thing that Grandpa used to tell me a lot was if you want something done, you got to give it to a busy man.
Yes. You want something done, give it to a busy man. That's good.
Yeah. So, I mean, in the very beginning, when it was just you working, what were some of the things that you did to, like, grow the business, or what was the vision you had? Like, did you imagine it would be where it is today when we first got started, or was it just going to be something that was going to just provide for, you know, us growing up?
You know, that touches into a little bit of my faith. I was in this small 2-room apartment in Pleasantville, where I started my business in 1979. And I just prayed and asked the Lord that I would have a business that would exceed everyone's expectations. And what I envisioned at that time in my prayers and my fasting at the time to start that business was I saw the business we have here today. And I saw it with the 20 employees and some 50-some contractors, and a place that people are knocking on our doors to come work here. We've recently won the Workplace of the Day, but it's a great place to work. Our employees are happy and genuinely cared for here, and we like that. And we are making a world difference now, not only in Guatemala, but locally here with our free roof giveaways each year. And many of the work that we do here, we believe that charity begins in your own backyard, in our home field here in Atlantic, Cape May counties, and we go take that abroad.
Yeah, that's good. Is there anything else you think people might want to know about us?
You know, we started our slogan, if you'll call, we'll show up. It actually started out, if you'll call, I'll show up. And of course, as our company has grown, we've changed the I to will. And that stemmed from just starting out in business and knowing that if I wanted to get to that goal of having a premium business in this industry, I had to be better than the other available contractors out there, at least in our eyes with our customers. And so one of the biggest complaints we'd always get is roofers not showing up. It was a notorious industry that didn't set the bar all that high, to be honest. And so it wasn't that hard to just show up, and people started thanking me for just showing up for an appointment. I thought that was so strange that I'm being thanked for coming. They're calling me for work and I show up for it, and they're thanking me.
That's half the battle.
It turns out to be half the battle. So I think it's kind of a funny slogan, if you'll call, we'll show up. You would think everybody would be dying to do that, but in our industry, unfortunately, it's not the case. And so often appointments are missed and dropped and forgotten and overbooked. And here at East Coast, we feel strongly about that. If you'll call, we'll show up.
I think a lot of people in Cape May, they call it Cape Maybe because of all the contractors that don't show up down there. You know, the way they don't just write it in their appointment logs, or they're not, you know, I don't know how they how they run their office and their appointments. They're just overbooking, overpromising, and kind of what you were mentioning earlier about, you know, we don't just keep taking on work to overpromise, so we will put an end to it. I think maybe other people, they just take on too many appointments and can't manage their schedules.
Our customers respect that. They'll respect that in time, knowing that, you know, if we can't take on a new customer at a time, so we can make sure we can service all of our past customers. That's important. Better for them to hear that we can't take a new appointment and have room for our present customers, which date all the way back to 1979. I remember when I would get a new customer. I'm dating myself now. I used to use 3x5 index cards. And as I knocked on those doors, as that person came in and said I could give them a price on the door, I wrote their name, number. And Sean, I can't tell you, the first time in my first 3 years of business, I'll tell you, this is how I know, again, it's a faith thing, that I would have work, and I hired my first crew, and I was scared to death hiring my first crew, not knowing how much to pay them and the investment, what's it going to pay off. And I remember in the first 3 years, there were about 2 or 3 times where it would be a Friday, and I was doing my last job. And I did not have work for these guys on Monday, and I'm thinking, I got a crew with a family. What do I do? Do I tell them? And I remember just praying and asking the Lord. I said, Lord, I'm out of work. If I tell them I'm out of work, they're going to leave and go somewhere else. What do I do? And for those first 3 times in the first few years, I would get a call come Friday afternoon. And no sooner to say the prayer, but I get a call saying, you don't remember me, but you knocked on my door 2-3 years ago and said you could give me a price on a roof. I really need it done. I need it done now. And that would happen time and time again. And I can honestly say that now it's been almost 40 years we've been in business, and there's not been day one that we've been without work.
Yeah, that's true.
And that's the Lord's blessing on us.
We also still have several customers that used us back in 1979 that have used us for multiple roofs on multiple different
I've had the
houses.
pleasure of actually putting 3 roofs on for one customer.
3 different houses, of course.
3 different houses, of course. But yeah, the customers go way back, and that's what it's all about, is our customers.
I know we were just having a recent production meeting outside the Mays Landing Diner, and you know, we had Mrs. Eubanks, you know, come in and just
Yes.
she ran into us, and I had her kind of share, you know, her story with us to some of the guys in production, just letting, you know, her know that, you know, she said that you knocked on her door, and, you know, we were one of her first customers, and then did a great job on her roof, and she used us for, you know, their second house, and then her third one in Mays Landing, and just you know, it's very neat to see that people, you know, come and just be very happy.
That's the way we need to grow the business, is one customer at a time, and just pleasing them and getting their needs met. It's important.
So, Dad, what are some of the advantages that a company our size has today for our customers that we didn't have back when you first got started in 1979?
The biggest convenience to our customers now that we didn't have then is financing. Back when I started, it was cash out of pocket. And no pun intended, but pricing of roofing has gone through the roof since I've started business. You now need $5,000, $10,000, $25,000 depending on the size of your home to do a roof, and most people just don't have that sitting around or waiting, anticipating that. And so our biggest advantage now is great finance plans that we have available that'll make that easier. They can pay it off in 6 months or 6 years, or their terms. They can set the terms, and we can.
That's true. I remember when we first got started, a lot of people would get prices in the wintertime, get quotes on their roof, wait to do the roof until their tax return money comes in, to only find out that manufacturers have raised their price of material, which in turn means the price of their roof is going up, to find out that the money that they've saved to get the roof done, they don't have to start over again because the price has gone up. But now with some of our great financing plans, they can get the roof done now, get it done with 2017 prices, and not have to pay for it till 2018.
That's right, and it's a good program.
So I hope you guys learned a little bit about East Coast Roofing, and I know I've learned a couple new things about how we got started. There's only one real way to end this, and that's if you'll call,
we'll show up.
Advantage Broadcasting. Move ahead.